Hello ladies and gentlemen, Ecology here and welcome back to the test server. Now in this video I'm going to be showing the last three, the TVP VTU concept, the Skoda T-50 and the TVP T-50-51. So without ado, here's the first one. And here we are with the TVP VTU concept, which is a Czechoslovakian. To me, it looks a lot like the Skoda T-40, but bigger. Got a bigger gun, the hull's a lot bigger, it's a lot taller as well. Let's go over the suspension detail, because I like suspension. Oh, no, come on, back up. There we go, straight. Oh, it's fiddly. There we go. It's a little stiff, I have to say. It's a little stiff. Stiff it is, yep. Which stiff isn't bad. Stiff is just it's stiff, meaning there's not much movement to the suspension at all, which isn't bad. It looks nice. I do like it. Up down, it works, and that's all that matters is it works. So yeah, the detail is pretty nice on this thing. See some jiggle physics? Boop, blop, boop, blop. No, the jiggle physics isn't that good. Some tanks have some very good jiggle physics, and jiggle physics is the track jiggling, bouncing up and down, moving to, you know, the way tracks move. There's my buddy. This thing moves pretty quick as well. It's pretty quicky. Quick. Beep, beep. There we go. Come on. There we go. Well, starting with the detail on the bottom, has some very nice drive sprocket work. The road wheels look nice. The return rollers are nice as well. Nice detail on the track. The side detail has some spare track links as spaced armor, so that's good. Has some ropes just in case it gets stuck. Has a hatch. Yep, it looks like a hatch, but it might not be a hatch. Looks like a hatch. On the side with a viewport. And the side of the turret has some grab irons. And the commander hatch does open, which is nice. Has an antennae, which is great. Viewports, fume extractor, another hatch on the turret. It's all good. All good, all good. Now, he's mounting the top gun, I think. I still have the stock gun because stock. Now, this is one of the two guns that you can mount. You can mount the 10 centimeter or the I think 100. I don't know. But this comes with a big bulky fume extractor, which, or not a fume extractor, a gun. I can't remember it now. Oh, that's gonna be annoying. But look at it. It's actually see-through. You can see through that thing, which is nice. It does have rifling. That is the coolest thing ever. Look at all the holes. Awesome. So going down from the tank, you can see that it is leaf spring. Like, everything is leaf spring suspension, and I like that. That's probably why it's so stiff, is because it's leaf spring. Well, I got some hooks down here. It's really angled, actually. That's a pretty steep angle. Now it has a rail gun. It's not a rail gun, it's probably a machine gun of some sort, but it looks like a rail gun, and a coaxial machine gun. I don't know what that big thing is. If you know what it is, please tell me in the comments. There's a headlight, another light there, and there's another light. In total, 3 lights in the front and a driver's port. The front of the turret is kind of boring with the viewport, so you can actually shoot the gun on that side, which is nice. I'm not a big fan of the gun because it just looks weird. It looks weird. Top of the tank, like I said, looks nice. Let's traverse the tank. The Tunka. Well, like I said, it looks great. The side detail. There's more spare tracks on this side. Got some poles to set up like a tent, which, if you look at the back of the turret, you can see a tent or a tarp or some sort. So you take those poles and you put it on the tarp. The sides of the turrets all have grab irons, which is nice. Grab irons are nice. Let's look at the rear detail as things get glitchy. Okay, you got a nice big hatch for the engine, which is probably a weak point. got the block of wood and the exhaust and the jack to lift up the tank. The exhaust looks nice because you can see through the grate, and it's 2 exhausts combining into 1, which I like as well. The top of the engine has a lot of grills or ventilation, has a hatch in there, a hammer on top, looks like an axe as well, some little more things, probably where you put in the fuel, oil, and stuff like that. All in all, it's not bad. It's actually a nice looking tank. Now, I wish I mounted the top gun. I'm surprised I didn't do that. But that gun is weird. But that's the TVP VTU concept. What an awkward thing to say. But back to the garage. And we're back in the garage with this wonderful thing. Now it does have a choice of some guns. It can have a choice of this one, and this one. Now which gun do you want is up to you. 2 of them are tier 8 guns and one of them is a tier 7 gun. But caliber is 100, rate of fire is good. Caliber is 152, rate of fire isn't really that fast, but the 88 is pretty nice as well. This is the thing, like, I like the 88mm gun because it's good, it's reliable, and it can get the job done, but you'll be seeing tier 10s. But the 100cm, it lacks the penetration. 188, 194, 175, so it's better than the 100mm, so the 100mm don't use. 100mm is garbage. So then it comes down to these 2 guns. Do you want the rate of fire better, a good rate of fire? Do you want to do damage, cause this lacks the penetration. It just lacks the penetration. Unless you're going to be spamming your gold rounds, the 100mm isn't really, or the 105mm isn't really that great to use. But granted, that damage is nice, but it's not as bad of 240. So, I don't know. I prefer the 88. I'm probably going to go for the 88mm gun because right there, that 10cm doesn't really please me. So I'm going to purchase that and I'm going to mount the 88. Look at that gun. Much better. It looks much more better, in my opinion. Well, let's go over some stats now. It has 1,450 hit points. It weighs 41.5 tons. It has 700 horsepower, giving it a top speed of 50 kilometers. Hull traverse speed is 44 degrees a second. Hull armor is 65 in the front, which isn't bad. 40 in the side, which is bad. 30 in the rear, which is bad. Turret armor is 65 in the front, 40 in the side, 30 in the back. So it's all rounded. Or about 40 in the back, not 30. 40, that's 40. Standard shell damage is 180 through 300. Standard shell penetration is 400 or 146 through 243. Rate of fire is 8.57 rounds per minute. Turret traverse speed is 42 degrees a second. Its view range is 380 meters and its center range is 850. All in all, I'm looking forward to this thing. I hear this thing looks a lot like the Skoda T-50. So, yeah. I really want the Skoda T-50, but apparently that's not available yet. Strange. But I'm really looking forward to play this thing with the 88mm gun, because the 100mm just does not seem to be a worthy gun. Yes, it does the damage, but the penetration is garbage. And to penetrate tier 10s, you need the penetration. And that's what the 88 gives you. And with that being said, let's go on to the next one, the Skoda T-50, which has a lot of problems, I have to say. And here we are with the Skoda T-50, which is a very huge and interesting looking thing. Like I say, it looks German, in a way, but it's more Russian than German. The gun, the turret, the hull style, but I like it. Let's go over some trenches. Oh, come on. I need to go over the hole to give the best suspension look possible. Oh, I'm just trapping it up. There we go. That looks nice. See, the problem with the Tier 8 was it was too, it was too rigid, I have to say. And this is not rigid. It's nice and fluent. It goes over the bump nicely. I like it. Jiggle physics isn't really that good, but it at least has some. One feature about this thing that I'm not really keen on, and I will explain later in the looking at it. And it has to do well with two things. We'll see one of the things when I look at it in more detail. Now let's look at the side. And this thing has nice detailing, actually. The road wheels are nicely weathered, I have to say. This thing does not have a front drive sprocket. As you notice with a majority of the Czechoslovakian low tiers, is the front wheel was spoked. This is not, which is pretty interesting. This one is still spoked, and it is mashing nicely with the track, and I like that. As you can see in the back, has a log. The side is riddled with, well, looks like machine gun bullets, but you do have spaced armor here, 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 with storage on the side. But other than that, it's pretty dull. Except for the turret. The turret is pretty nice with some markings. 4A26SB01SB and 80532. I'm guessing that's like the serial mark of the tank, which is pretty nice that they add in small details like that. You got 3 ammo chests. I have to say those are ammo for the top machine gun. And you got a side jerry can, which is pretty nice. Now let's look at the front. Traverse, traverse, traverse. And there's my big problem number 1. The big problem that I see from this tank is its very big lower plate. And that is a lot of lower plate, and it's at a very sharp angle, so you're probably not going to bounce anything with the lower plate. So you have to hide this thing pretty well. It has 2 tow hooks, which is nice. The track is nicely detailed, I have to say, nicely weathered, and pivot and stuff. Got 2 headlights, got some track details on the front, adding spaced armor, hopefully. Got mini lights there and there. The front of the turret has a small machine gun located right in there. You can hardly see it, but there is a machine gun in the turret. The viewport to aim the gun, and mortar serial number on the turret, which is nice. The top of the turret has a, well, I can say a weak point, I think, and has a machine gun, which looks pretty nice. 2 buckets, probably, feeding the machine gun, so it has plenty of bullets, but you can't use it, and it has an antenna, which is great. Does the gun have rifling? Yes, the gun has rifling, and it's very beautiful as well. Like, I love the little detail in the barrel. And that's it for this side. Let's look at the other side. But like I said, that front plate's going to be so annoying to hide. Like, you have to make sure it is hidden or you will get hit. Well, you see more machine gun fire right across the front here. You got more spaced armor with the hatches. You got more machine gun ammo for the top machine gun. You got another jerry can. And the top of the turret looks nice. You got 2 hatches. So that's not bad. And the machine gun's not bad either. And let's look at the rear. The rear. Well, the rear of the vehicle has that D-ditch log that most Russian vehicles have. Down below it has spare tracks, which is nice. Got the tow rope or cable, just in case it gets stuck. You got more storage here and there. You got smoke, I'm guessing. The top of the engine deck is pretty barren. You got some radiators or vents. Back of the turret, you got a rear light, which is kind of handy if you need it. You got the tent or tarp. And then the back of the machine gun, which has a shield, so your commander can pop out and shoot the machine gun without getting hit by small arms fire. And then the rear of the tank looks much like a T-34 with the 2 exhaust and the hatch. But all in all, it's pretty nice looking. I do like the look of this tank, but I do have to say that lower plate is very annoying. But that's not the main problem. This... You might say that, yes, this thing gets an autoloader. That's awesome. But look at this. Plonk. Goes right through. Goes right through. And it's a 3-round autoloader, which isn't bad. But then you get a 22-second reload. And my crew's 100%. I have a consumable. And I have ventilation. You cannot get a gun rammer because it comes with an autoloader. And for me, that is kind of upsetting because now I'm out of the action for 22 seconds. That is kind of annoying. But when you are reloaded, you have 3 shells. So you can do that. You can do that. And, well, if I wanted to, I could kill him. But I need to end. So it's a yes and it's a no. With the long-ass reload, 22 seconds and 22.10 seconds. That's a lot of time to be reloading. But it's not bad. Like, I've seen worse. But for a medium tank that needs reliability and maneuverability to stay in the battle, and if you fire your 3 shells and you have that 22-second reload and you're brawling with something, or you're trying to circle around to get the rear end and you don't have the shells to finish it off, that's just going to be a killer. And that weak point, that lower plate weak point, is huge. But that's it. And back to the garage. So we're back with the Skoda T-50. And as you can see, it has a very, very big weak point, I have to say. The gun is okay, I guess. It has a choice of you can get the 100 mil with the auto-loading system, or you can get the non-auto-loading system, but it's a tier 9. But it does looks like the same amount of damage, but you get a little bit less penetration. So I still choose the autoloader on this thing, even though it does fire or have a slower reload, and it only has a 3-round clip. But with that being said, it's not bad. Hit points is 1,650, which is okay for a tier 9. It weighs 43 tons, has 1,000 horsepower, giving this thing a top speed of 50 kilometers. Its hull traverse speed is 42 degrees a second. Its armor is 65 in the front, which is not really good. 40 in the side, which is not good. 40 in the side, which is not good. Turret armor, this is where the turret becomes great. You really want to haul down in this tank because it has 120 turret armor. That's pretty good for this tank. 120. 80 in the side, which isn't that good, and 60 in the rear, which isn't that good. But that 120 in the front will really save you if it bounces. Standard shell damage is 240 through 400. Standard shell penetration is 186 through 310. Round rate of fire is 7.3 rounds per minute. Its turret traverse is 42 degrees a second. View range is 400, and SIG range is 850. Now let's look at the camo, because I forgot to do that on the other tank as well. I got wear and tear here, which looks nice. Wear and tear there. On the same side, wear and tear on the skirts here and there. Excuse me, I got hiccups. Ugh. Wear and tear on the turret and around the gun breech barrel mantlet. There we go, the gun mantlet. Wear and tear around the turret ring, on the turret where the crew would get in and out of the tank, because there is no hatch for the driver to get in and out. He has to get in and out through the hatches on the roof, which is kind of annoying, or you have to go through the bottom of the tank, which isn't really that great either. Has some bullet holes, got some wear and tear on the back engine deck, wear and tear all around here that you can see, and it looks nice. It really does. Now I'm going to go back a tank to look at the concepts. There we go. And I'm going to look at its paint job as well, because I forgot to do that. Well, we got some wear and tear down here and around here, up here as well, around the skirts. Some scratches on the turret, wear and tear around the hatches, what do you like you expect. Hatches around the engine bay is also weathered. Down here it's weathered, and there's scratches along the side, which looks pretty nice actually. And to the last tank of the Czechoslovakians, and it's the LT, or it's the TVP T50 51. Basically, it's a modification of the Skoda T-50. That's why it's the Skoda the this company took like the T-50, which, as you can see, this is the original T-50, the turret. Nothing has changed with the turret from the T-50. See, it's the exact same turret. But what has changed is the hull. The hull's different. They probably kept the suspension, but they modified the front end, which is great, and they modified the rear end, which is also good. And let's go look at it in more detail. And here we are with the TVP T50-51, and I have to say, this thing is speedy. It's nice, it's agile, and its turret traverse is pretty good. Pretty good. Has nice gun depression in the front, I have to say. It's not bad. And I like it. I like it a lot. For a tier 10, this thing's going to be fun to play. And it has a 4-round autoloader. Yes, it fires 4 rounds instead of 3. Same gun as the tier 9, but it gets more rounds. Now, the chassis is pretty much the same as the Skoda T-50, but it's a little bit modification. And it's stiff. It's a little stiff. But as you can see, the main difference of this tank is the front pike nose is gone, and the back is not as rounded as it was before. It's much more, well, a brick. So let's look at it in more detail, and I'm actually going to look forward to play this thing, because it actually looks like fun. Now, I don't like my Russian medium tanks because I didn't really like it, but this thing actually looks like it might have fun. Come on. There we go. Oh, no, come on, stop. Shh, shh, calm down. Good tank. Well, the drive sprocket is also lower to the ground than it was on the Skoda T-50. Still got the standard idler wheel. Nice road wheels. Let's see, the side detail is pretty bland. You got some ropes just in case you get stuck, some grab irons, some tow hooks just in case one breaks. You do got serial numbers on the turret. You got machine guns, your jerry can. I think this is the same machine gun on the same turret that's on the Skoda T-50. That's why it's the T-50-51. Same turret, so that's the T-50 turret. And 51 is the modification. So T-50 is the modification. 51 is the modification. But look at that. The lower plate is hidden now. And it's also protected by spaced armor. The tracks, which I'm looking forward to because that's pretty nice. The front is pretty bare. You got some tow hooks. You got a big lantern on top. And then you got your driver's port. That's your driver's port. One little teeny weeny viewport. Which is nice, but that's pretty small. And you always have to be like that. You don't have a hatch to get out. Like, the only way to get out of this tank is by the roof. You have to get through the turret, which is kind of annoying for the driver that you have to go through. And there's the rifling in the barrel. But it's kind of annoying for the driver that you have to go through the tank. And if your tank gets on fire, you have to go all the way through the tank, or you have to drop down through the bottom, which I think there is a hatch. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. And let's look at the side. Now the side is kind of bland. You got one toolbox or storage. You got the same detail on this side as the other side. You got the tarp in the back. Now the top of this engine deck is pretty bland as well. You got your log in the back. Where's the exhaust on this thing? I don't see exhaust. Yeah, you got some jerry cans in the back, which is nice. Or, well, not jerry cans. You got extra gas cans in the back, which is nice. Where's the exhaust? 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 Can you... Oh. So those boxes behind the cans of fuel are the exhaust. That's pretty neat. That's pretty neat at all. That's pretty neat because it's hidden. You can't really see the exhaust, which is nice. Well, the drive sprocket matches nicely with the track, which is nice. I like that. You got some tow hooks in the back. And you got your engine hatch, just in case you need to view the engine from this angle. Which is not bad. I like the way this tank looks. I like the maneuverability of this tank. I like I like this thing more than the Tier 9. I have to play it first, but I'm really liking it. I like the speed. So far I'm at 50, 60. Oh, I just smacked into a tank. Hopefully I can get up to speed. Come on, let's get a speed trial going. I'm going to run out of speed. Let's take a U-turn. But it's pretty nimble, and I like that as well. Let's see. Speed, go. 40, 50, 60. That's the top speed, 60. Still pretty fast for a medium. Not as fast as the Leopards or... But 60 is pretty nice. Well, let's see the front armor. Yeah, it goes through, but I'm pretty point blank, so I don't really... Let's go distance. Oh, still penetrated. Let's go a little far. Let's see, this is 100 meters. 100 meters. There we go. I still penetrate it reliably. Yes. The damage isn't bad. 200 to 300 damage, which isn't bad. And you still get the ridiculous long reload, 22.44 seconds, but you have more shells in the clip. So you have more chances of hitting, and if you really need that extra shell, it comes in handy. Let's see, can I penetrate it now? Yeah, I can penetrate it. That's pretty upsetting. Where am I going? I'm going to the moon. To the moon. Now, he's pretty far away now. 200 meters. Still reloading my gun. See, I expect his front plate to be weak, but I didn't expect it to be very weak. Alright, I'm at the max distance I can go. And that's 324. Nope, that bounced. Oh, nope, it pens. And I'm pretty sure the turret's in auto. Nope, it died. Well, that's it for the Skoda. Back to the garage. So, yeah. And we're back. I am loving this thing. I really do. Like, I love the turret traverse. I love the 4-round autoloader. Yes, the reload is quite a little bit slow, but it's not as slow as, like, French and other medium tanks with autoloader guns. Let's see. It has 1,800 hit points, which is okay for a tier 10. It weighs 43 tons, has 1,000 horsepower, giving this a top speed of 60 kilometers, which is nice. Traverse speed is 54 degrees a second. Hull armor is 65 in the front, which is okay, not the best. 40 in the side, and 30 in the rear, which it's not really well armored, but it is a medium tank, so I don't expect it to be. Turret is 120. Alright, it's the same. Yeah, 120 in the front, 80 in the side, 60 in the rear, which isn't bad for a tier 10. Let's see. Standard shell damage is 240 through 400. Standard shell penetration is 186 through 310. Rate of fire is 8.14 rounds per minute. Turret traverse speed is 36 degrees a second for the turret. Max view range is 410, and signal range is 850. All in all, I like this thing. I can't wait to get my paws all over this thing. And let's look at the weathering. It has some weathering here on top of the thing, but there really shouldn't be much weathering because there is no hatches up here, so you can't really get up. Here's some weathering around there. Scratches down the side. Wear and tear around the hatches on top. And the turret has the same amount of weathering detail as the tier 9. All in all, I like this thing. If I have to give this a rating out of 10, 0 through 10, I would give this a solid 9 on the scale of fun factor, playability, and, well, grindability. Like, I feel like this is a very worthy tank. And I might do a separate video on this thing, so look forward to that in the future. But with that being said, this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, and like, comment, and subscribe, and click the like button, subscribe as well. And I'll be showing you more videos. Like, I have the HD models for USSR. I have HD models for US. I have HD models for France. I have HD models for the UK, China, and Japan. So look forward to those. I like HD tanks. HD tanks. So bye-bye. See you guys.